I'm a 34-year-old guy who never thought I'd be the one typing out a post like this, but here we are. I've been married to my wife for 6 years, together for almost 10. From the outside, people thought we were solid. We had decent jobs, a nice apartment, inside jokes, a dog we treated like our kid, and all the usual things that make people assume, yeah, they've got it figured out. We didn't. Or at least, I didn't. Looking back now, I realized the relationship didn't explode. It eroded, quietly, slowly, in ways that were easy to dismiss until suddenly they weren't. The first phase wasn't even conflict, it was absence. She stopped initiating anything emotionally. No more random texts during the day. No more how's work or come home safe. At first I didn't think much of it. People get busy. Life settles. But then I noticed I had become the only one maintaining emotional connection. If I didn't text first, we didn't talk. If I didn't ask about her day, she didn't volunteer anything. If I didn't initiate affection, there was none. At first I told myself this is just what long-term relationships become. Comfortable, quiet, stable. But it didn't feel stable. It felt like I was slowly being removed from her inner world while still physically standing next to her. Then came the irritability phase. Everything I did became slightly wrong. Not dramatically wrong, just irritating. A glass left on the counter wasn't just a glass. It was, you never think about anything. A question about her plans became, why are you interrogating me? My presence itself started feeling like a burden she had to tolerate. I remember one night, she looked at me and said, "You're always around. It's exhausting sometimes." Not shouted, not emotional, just flat. That sentence stayed with me longer than any argument we ever had. Because it wasn't anger. It was detachment. Around that same time, her phone changed. Not in obvious movie-like ways. No sudden password locks or dramatic secrecy. It was subtle, always face down, always within reach, always with her. If it buzzed, she reacted instantly, like reflex. If I walked into the room while she was texting, the screen went dark. If I asked casually, "Who's that?" she'd respond with irritation, not explanation. I didn't accuse her of anything. Not yet. But something in me started to tighten. The first real something is wrong moment happened on a Tuesday. She told me she'd be late from work. Nothing unusual. But when she came home around 11:30 p.m., she felt different in a way I can't fully describe. Not guilty. Not nervous. Just separated. Like she had stepped into another version of her life and hadn't fully returned to ours. She didn't greet me. Didn't acknowledge me. Went straight into the bathroom. I noticed a faint smell on her clothes that didn't match anything I associated with her routine. Not strong perfume. More like someone else's environment had clung to her. She stayed in the shower for almost an hour. When she came out, I tried to keep things normal. Long day. She didn't look at me. Yeah, exhausting. Then she went to bed and turned away. No conversation. No closeness. No connection. That night, I didn't sleep at all. I just lay there thinking. When did we become strangers who share a bed? Over the next weeks, the pattern expanded. Late nights became more frequent. Work dinners became vague. Team stuff became untraceable. She never gave details unless forced, and when I asked, she acted like I was invading her privacy. One night I asked simply, "Who are you going out with?" She snapped immediately. "Why do you need a list? You my dad now?" That wasn't just anger. That was contempt. And contempt in relationships is rarely the beginning of something. It's usually the end of something that hasn't admitted itself yet. After that, I stopped asking questions directly. I started observing instead. Not because I wanted to play detective, because I felt like I was already being excluded from reality. And I was trying to understand which reality I was still living in. She started coming home and showering immediately. She started smiling at her phone in ways she hadn't smiled at me in months. She started protecting screens in subtle, practiced ways, rotating angles, hiding notifications, exiting apps quickly. None of it was proof, but all of it was a pattern. Then came the Sunday morning. The moment everything collapsed. Her phone lit up while she was asleep. A notification preview appeared. "Last night was amazing. Can't wait to see you again, Red Heart." I didn't move for a long time. Not because I didn't understand what I was seeing, but because my brain was refusing to fully accept it. There's a strange moment in betrayal where reality arrives faster than your emotional system can process it. I remember thinking absurd things like, maybe it's someone else's phone. Maybe it's a joke. Maybe there's context that makes this harmless. But none of those thoughts held. I put the phone back, and something inside me changed permanently. Not rage. Not yet. Something quieter. Like a door closing. After that, I stopped asking what is happening, and started asking what else is real that I don't know about. My entire perception of the relationship shifted from emotional participation to investigation. Not because I wanted revenge, but because I needed truth. Eventually, I found her laptop open. No password. That alone felt like another layer of reality collapsing. Inside were months of conversations. Not just flirting, not just attention, but emotional dependence, consistency, intimacy, plans, future talk. A parallel relationship that had been running alongside our marriage like it was normal. And one message stood out more than everything else. I hate lying to him, but I don't know how to leave without blowing everything up. That sentence hit differently, because it reframed me. Not as a partner, not as a person, but as an obstacle, a consequence, something she was managing, not someone she was betraying. That realization didn't make me cry. It made me still, completely still, like my body had shut down processing until further notice. When she came home, I didn't explode. I waited. Then I showed her. I slid the laptop across the table. Her reaction was immediate. Shock first, then panic, then anger. You went through my stuff? That was the priority. Not what was inside. Not what it meant. Just how I found out. Everything after that wasn't a confession. It was narrative control. It didn't mean anything. You weren't there emotionally. It just happened. He was just someone I talked to. Every sentence moved responsibility away from her and towards something else. Me. Circumstances. The relationship. Anything but her choices. At some point I realized she wasn't describing reality. She was constructing a version where she could survive herself. And I didn't exist in that version as a victim, only as a cause. I left that night. Stayed with my brother. No drama there. Just space. And silence. For the first time in a long time, silence didn't feel like tension. It felt like relief. But then came the messages. We need to talk. Don't do this. You're making this worse. Never. I'm sorry. Never. I destroyed your trust. Only pressure. Only urgency. Only control. We eventually met in a cafe. She arrived composed. Almost irritated. Like this was an administrative issue. Not a collapsed marriage. She tried to reset the situation within minutes. Like emotional rupture was something that could be rolled back with the right phrasing. That's when I understood something fundamental. She still wasn't fully in the same reality as me. She believed repair was still possible without full accountability. She told me she ended things with him after I left. Maybe she did. But by then, it didn't matter. Because the betrayal wasn't only the affair. It was the absence of shared truth. After that, everything slowed into logistics. Not reconciliation. Not reconciliation attempts. Just separation disguised as conversation. I went back to the apartment once to pack. That moment felt like walking through a paused life. Everything still in place. Nothing destroyed. But nothing alive either. She came back while I was packing. Stopped in the doorway. And asked. So that's it. No anger. No begging. Just finality finally catching up. And I said, yeah. And I left. Afterwards, the pain didn't arrive all at once. It came in waves. In empty rooms. In quiet evenings. In moments where your brain forgets for a second and then remembers again. But over time, something else formed underneath it. Clarity. Not peace. Not happiness. Just understanding. That relationships don't usually end in explosions. They end in gradual withdrawal from truth. And once someone starts rewriting reality to protect themselves, you stop being in a shared relationship. You start reacting to a story you're no longer part of. That's the part one wish I understood sooner.